Hello, I'm Pastor Jeffries, and welcome to day 3 of the 30-day mental diet. I am the pastor of the Philadelphia Church, located at 530 Eastern Parkway, right at the corner of Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. And we are happy that you took some time out to spend some time with us during this 30 mental diet. It's important for us to persevere and go through the whole 30-day mental diet. Today, we're on day 3. Why you are important. That's the name of the discussion we'll be having today. And we are talking from and discussing the book, The 30-Day Mental Diet by Willis Kennard. I hope by now you've gotten a copy because it's good for you to get it, read it, and digest it because it's very uplifting and inspiring information in this book. Tonight, we're going to talk about why you're important. And again, the subtitle gives us an inroad to what we're going to be discussing. It says, You are necessary to life. You are necessary to life. I want you to notice that the life, Life, is capitalized. You are necessary to life. It's the same as saying you are necessary to God and you are important to God. That's why you are important. You are unique. You are one of a kind. When you are a lover of antiques like my wife, you get excited when you find when you run up against something that they call a find, when you locate something that is unique, that is a one of a kind. She calls it a find. This is a great find. Well, I want you to know that you are unique. You are one of a kind. You are valuable. As a matter of fact, you're priceless. That's why you're important. You're not only important because you're one of a kind, you're important because God made you, and He made you in His image, and He made you in His likeness. You see, you are precious in the sight of God. Well, let's read the introduction to this lesson and let's move on. By the way, I'm reading from the 30-day mental diet. This is an old edition, as you can see, I mark it up, and it's I live by this thing, because it's powerful. Why you're important. It says here in the introduction, when you examine yourself, you discover that you are probably somewhere between 5 and 6 feet tall. You find that you are neither very big nor very small as things appear in the world. If you're able to envision the size of a star and also that of an atom, you would be able to determine that in the relation to size, you are just about in the middle of things. All things are very big, some things are very small, but you're right in the middle, all of which leaves you in the position of not being very impressive, one way or the other, as far as size is concerned. So, in what respect are you able to discover that you may have importance? And then it goes on to say, you are unique, and it explains that you are one of a kind. It says there never has been and there will never be another you. Nature never duplicates itself. Everything is unique and is an individual expression of life, and life is capitalized again. So we're talking about the one mind. We're talking about the omniscient mind of God. He says it's everything is unique and is an individualized expression of God. Life is expressing itself in and through you in a way that nothing else can do. It's in a way that is a one time only creation. I like that. Life is expressing itself through you and through you in a way that is a one time only creation. And that's big. I want you to understand that God is expressing through you. You are important because you are the focal point of the universe. All that life is right where you are. Tonight we find that you are one of a kind. That's what we found before. Last night we found that out, that we found that you are a focal point, and where you are is the center of the universe. You are unique. You are a one time and a one of a kind making. And I want you to know that. Let's read on. It says, inasmuch as there's always a purposive drive in every living thing, this would mean that you there is coming forth. That this would mean that in you, I'm sorry, this would mean that in you there's a coming forth of life that seeks to express and create in a manner that will never be duplicated. You are important in the scheme of things, for life seeks to express in and through you. Your mind, your consciousness is a particular channel for the flowing into expression of the one mind, one intelligence that is the heart of the universe. What is he saying? He said that God made you and that you are one of a kind. There is no one that can do you like you. Uh, there is no one else that is like you, because nature never duplicates. God never duplicates himself. That makes you a one of a kind. That makes you a masterpiece. We have an obligation to life to show forth all that we can do, all that we are made of. God, we have an obligation to God to use the gifts and the blessings and that we're given for the good of others and for the fulfillment of God's purpose for our lives. The book just said that we are purposeful. We were all sent here with a purpose. God is seeking to do something special through you. And he sent you here to accomplish that which is unique and special. Only you can accomplish the will of God for your life. That's why we're to ask him and stay in touch with the mind of God and ask him to fulfill his purpose for us here on earth. Your purpose is different to my purpose, but we're all very important. You are important and you are necessary. You are important in the scheme of things, for life seeks to be in you and through you what it has never been before. Your mind, your consciousness is a particular channel for the flowing into expression of the mind, that infinite mind of God. One intelligence that is the heart and the soul. It's the heart of the universe. God's mind is in you. You need to create. That's the next thing. Let's move right along. You need to create. There are potentials in each and every one of us that have been unexplored. Maybe there are hidden treasures, undeveloped gifts. There's a purpose within you. There's a purpose for each individual sent here. Everyone born, and there is a purposive drive in everything and person. Life should be lived, and your purpose is fulfilled when you give full expression to the greater potentialities that reside in you. You need to become aware that what you are, where you are, and your importance as a unique creation of the channel for the flow of the omniscient mind into individual expression. You are the individual expression of the universal mind. We have found that we are one with the one infinite mind, that intelligence, that spirit. God, who created all things and is all things, is in you and is in me. And we have found that we are not alone. We belong to life, and all of life, all that life is right where you are and is what you are. That's big. I want you to think about it. All that life is right where you are. That's why we found that where you are is the focal point of in the universe, because all of the omniscient mind, all of the one mind of God is in you, and it is right where you are. That makes you important. That makes you one of a kind. Let's go on. You need to become aware that what you are and where you are and is important, is unique. It needs to it needs you for fulfillment. Life needs you for fulfillment of its creativity, and its creativities and its flowing into individuality. You need to recognize that what you are and come to the assist. It flows in you. You need to recognize it and what you are and come assist its flow in you, rather than blocking its action through indifference and lack of knowledge. In other words, you've got to go with the flow. You know, when I was in the seventh grade, I had a typing teacher. Her name was Miss Gottlieb. She's a little bitty thing. She must have been all of 4 feet. You know, if she was five, she was five even. But she was a spitfire. She was full of fire, very, very energetic and very expressive. And we had two guys in our class that were pranksters, and they put on the board, the blackboard, they drew a witch on a broom. So when everybody walked in, of course, we sit down, we're looking at the backboard, and the class starts wondering and laughing and so forth. She walked in and put her books on the desk and faced the class, so her back was to the blackboard. So she didn't get what everybody was laughing at until she turned around and she saw what Hildred Temple and Clifford had put on the board. They drew this, and everybody was laughing. Well, she blew a fuse. The gall! I know who did this. Is only one of you. There's only you're one of the kind. When they made you, they broke the mold. They broke the mold. You've got God, the goal, you've got some nerve, blah, 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 blah. And she went on and on. Why am I saying that? Because some of what she said was true. As I was studying Willis Kennard, he says that we are one of a kind. And he says when God made us, they broke the mold, just like she said. Well, she was saying in a different tone, but the words are true. And we know that our words have power. Well, I thought it was amusing to know that, yeah, I am one of a kind. You are one of a kind. You are God's masterpiece. Uh, he made you, and when he made you, he broke the mold because nature doesn't reproduce itself. There is no one like you. That's why no one can do you like you. God expects you to have the responsibility to be all you can be, the all that he made you to be, because he knows that you live and move and have your being in him. He knows that it's important to live up to your importance. He knows that you have the ability to do it and to succeed because he placed it in you and he himself dwells in you, and I want you to know that. I want you to understand that the stimulus in this lesson speaks of the scientist Robert Millikan. He was an American experimental physicist, and he was honored with the Nobel Peace Prize. And he says this: it is our sense of responsibility for playing our part to the best of our ability that makes us godlike. And that's true. It's our sense of responsibility. You have the responsibility, and you've got to know your responsibility and play your part to the best of your ability that makes you godlike. You've got to achieve. The philosopher Sarah Paley says this: no individual, however great, can be an exhaustive expression of God. But each individual is a distinctive expression and brings out the characteristic of God's being. It may be said that every human being is unique and answer to a specific need in God. Isn't that great? You answered to a specific need in God. He puts you here specifically for a reason, and you've got to understand that. Can I speak truth to power now? The book of John says this, John 5, I think it's verse 30. It says, I can of myself do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just. This is Jesus talking. Because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father that sent me. You see, we must recognize that of ourselves, we can do nothing. Like Jesus, we must listen and do the will of the Father, do the will of God. He will empower us to do all things through Christ our Lord. We must listen and listen for the voice of the Lord and do what we hear. Do what God says. Do what you know. I'm saying this because it's powerful, and if you do it, you are going to succeed in a way that you have never succeeded before. Put this into play. Let's read the diet. There is always power in the diet. I want to read this diet in the first person. I want you to listen along in the first person and put it in justice in your mind. The diet says, without any sense of conceit or false idea of importance, I know that I am a unique creation of God. Never before and never again will there be ever another me. God goes forth anew into creation as what I am. I am my I accept my unique individuality and recognize my responsibility to more fully express the life that is within me. With a certainty that it is done, I declare that there are now removed all ideas and emotional responses which may have prevented the fullness of life from expressing in and through me. I fulfill my obligation to life in every respect. I let it be all that it is at its level of expression as me. I now declare that I become a fuller channel for its continual creative action for good in every aspect of my life and experience. I accept and constantly endeavor to more fully express the unique individualization of God in me, and know that in so doing, through God's eternal creative action, I am rightly guided in all that I do. I am important to God and important to myself. For I know that God continues to express and create in and through everything I do. In this knowledge, my life now becomes a joyous adventure and a continually fuller attainment of what I know my true nature to be. Isn't that powerful? You've got to recognize and take responsibility and be all that God created you to be. He put everything you need for your life and fulfillment around you. It's in the earth. He created the earth and then he put you in the center of the earth with everything you need. And then he gave you dominion. You are important and you have to live up to that. The capsule supplement says this: I am important, a unique individualization of God, a unique individualization of God. Through this awareness, life now finds a freer, fuller channel for the expression of its perfect nature as me. We are important to God. You are special and live up to it. This concludes this lesson 3 of the 30-day mental diet. I would like you to tune in tomorrow, same time, same station, and get day 4. You know, if we persevere and go through this 30-day mental diet together, we are guaranteed to come out better on day 30 than we were at day 1. Until tomorrow, keep your head up and keep pushing. God bless you.